on to our next story. We're talking about Christina Shusho. Now, this babe, is she not beautiful? Is she not powerful? Powerful voice, powerful messaging. We really, really do love Christina Shusho, to the point where, like last year, guys made it a trend, or were advocating for Christina Shusho to come perform her songs for the New Year's Eve or New Year's concert. And she came through, and guys pulled up because there's just a way she moves you with her voice. And then a few weeks ago, she announced that she was separating from her husband. And we were all like, what do you mean a husband? We've been thinking you're single whole time. And went on to say that, you know, it was not him. It was just that the word of God was leading her in a different direction, and she needed to be single to pursue this path. And I was just like, girl, do you. Don't involve the Lord in this. Just to do you. Anyway, she is now talking more about her very secretive marriage, and goes on to say that she was actually married at the age of 19. She says, I was quite young. After completing my Form 4, my mother saw me and this beautiful girl at home. I was exceptionally beautiful, and my mother was afraid that I might be led astray and bring shame upon my family. And as she was getting, now that I'm older, do not tell me I'm beautiful. I was very beautiful, incredibly beautiful back then. So when this man approached my mother, expressing interest in me, I simply agreed out of fear. I was indeed very beautiful. Bottom line is, she was a pretty girl, okay? She was pretty. Her mother said, oh, my little egg, I need to protect you. You don't bring pregnancy to my house. So anyway, she was married off by her family at the age of 19 to this man who expressed interest in her, and then went on to say that it felt very forced, and it felt like it was just an obligation that she had to do. It was something she did not want to do, but because I don't want to bring shame to my family, people have gone to this extent to make sure that I'm getting married. People have offered. So she just fulfilled a duty, but it wasn't really her. And it must be very heartbreaking to hear this as someone's ex-husband, to hear that the whole time they were married to you, it's not something they really wanted. It's just that they felt obligated to marry you because families and promises were made and families were involved. So it must be very heartbreaking for the husband, for the ex-husband, to be hearing about all of this. And I remember when she separated from her ex-husband, she actually asked him to release her. You can just feel the whole vibe of this marriage was, I am done playing this duty and playing this role. So for her to even use God and say, God requires me to walk in a different direction and requires me to pursue this direction on my own. Girl, you just didn't love this man, and that is okay. It's okay to leave a relationship where love is not involved anymore. Just don't bring God into this. But it's very refreshing to see the origin story. We don't know much about her personal life, so just seeing this new version of her is just very interesting.
I personally believe that anyone, if you really want to leave your marriage, use whatever means possible. Because you know, it's your marriage. You've been in it. True. You know exactly what you're going through. And a lot of people can throw stones at your glass house as they are in glass houses themselves. Reality is, she wasn't happy in this marriage. No one wants to be married at 9. Well, she clearly didn't want to be married young. She just wanted to not have issues, you know? And I feel so horrible because her whole youth, like all of her 20s, she was just married to this guy who all he wanted to do was preach the word of God. And she wants excitement. I'm curious to know how old the guy actually was as well. Because like it's one of those situations where I think he's an older guy, he's already lived his life, he's already done his whatever, and now he's like chasing after small young girls who are trainable and manageable and malleable. I don't like it. It feels, she was still a teenager. 19,
he looks middle-aged.
19 is still teenage. He may not necessarily be old, but he was definitely older. Yeah, he was definitely older than her. So he's been around the streets for a bit, and now he's like trying to collect the pure one. It's just, it feels very, I don't like those stories. I honestly don't feel like anyone should be coerced into, convinced to, you know, led towards marriage at 19, unless you really want it. And even then, like, have you considered all other factors? And are you getting married for the right reason? Like, at 19, you're still a teen is attached to your age. That tells you something, in my opinion. There's a reason why legal drinking age is 21. you know, in my mind, that's how I look at it. If legal drinking age is 21, yani you're telling me I'm not mature enough to have a drink, but you're telling me I'm mature enough to have like a whole marriage? Like, what are we doing? So I completely am now standing with her. I stand beside. Now I get it. This girl just wanted out. She just wanted to be out of the situation. And if God was the solution for her plea, she was gonna grab on God. But I am happy for her. She seems like she's coming out of her shell. Like, she's been talking to us a lot more in the last 2-3 weeks. She's talked to us a lot more than she ever has in the past. So what does that mean? She's getting her voice. She's finding her journey. She's finding her calling. So it's okay 100%. If this is what it feels